What's good, YouTube? Today's video is a loot guide. Most of you guys have been asking me how to Tetris, what do I prioritize, and what should you prioritize. Today I'll be telling you. I'll be showing some examples and then I'll go into trainer room and break it down a little further. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Helps boost your channel and the algorithm. Peace. Do I have enough room for this loot? Is there more players? For every raid, the items you bring in determine how much loot you can carry out without factoring what the enemy is carrying, whether they have a big bag or they have no bag. You always want to come in with the bag that maximizes your loot potential. Depending on where the bodies are, would determine how you play the situation. For example, I kill this guy inside. I know both of his teammates are outside, so I'll start with him first. Pretty sure there's no one else around, but most times you can't be sure. So while you're looting, you always want to be listening out for audio, for shuffling, for slow walking. So most people like to creep up in these situations. So the first thing you want to do when you touch a body is mentally know what you need, what you want, and what you have room for. These three things determine what loot you grab and how you prioritize it. There is people that just go for max loot value and just grab the most expensive thing, but realistically you want to grab things that will help you get into the next raid or upgrade what you have already. The first thing you want to do when you touch a body is check the bag. Especially when the player has two weapons, usually this means that they have loot in their bag. And depending on the loot, it could change what you want to grab. Before I even finish searching the rig, I already know this is a bad start. This rig is terrible to loot with and it puts me in a bad situation. One of the most important things when it comes to looting and being good at it is understanding the market and the prices. You always want to keep up to date on the current prices for attachments, for mags, because when you're in game, it can affect the profit you extract with. I was actually having a hard time figuring out how I wanted to assort this loot. Realistically, I put myself in a terrible situation coming in with a small bag, and then the rig just messed everything up. Sometimes this happens where you can't get the perfect loot because of the rigs and bags available to you. In this situation, I'm lucky that I got some kills. I want to go check his teammates and the other people to see if they have better rigs or better bags. The 926 is fine, but with the rigs I'm currently equipped with, I can't make maximum profit. Something I see a lot of people do is get in their head over the loot that they leave. So for example, looking at the AK and RPK, some people might feel like they need these weapons, but realistically, I don't use it AK. I know the ammo is good, it has some good attachments, so I just break apart the gun, take that, and I save a lot of space. You don't always need the whole gun, and sometimes leaving loot to prioritize more is more beneficial, because what's the point of having an RPK if you never use it? So the first thing I noticed about this guy and the last guy I looted is neither of them have a bag, but they both have two stacked weapons, which means they dropped their bag somewhere. A lot of high level players do this just in case they die or to be lighter in a situation. They just leave their bag behind and then they go fight. Technically you could go retrace the steps and try to figure out where the bag is, but for the most part you're better off just using what you have around you because you will waste a lot of time looking for the bags. So after looking around, I haven't found much to help my situation. Now it's time to cut my losses and prioritize what I really need since I don't have unlimited space. So the only reason I still have the F2000 is because I actually wanted the gun. Realistically, I would drop the F2000, drop the drum mag, and then move the AR-57 over. You would take the suppressor off the AR-57 to save space. Unfortunately, I couldn't find her bag, so I'm just going to take as much loot as possible and micromanage it after. So I remembered that this guy had an armor rig and it had 2 4 slots and you could turn it to the side. Any rig or armor rig, this is one way to tell if they're good for looting, is if you could turn them sideways while they're in your bag. Honestly, right here I would just drop the T6 armor, but in this situation I don't want to drop the T6 armor. I'm trying to think of a alternative. So now it's really getting down to the numbers. The AR mag goes for 10k. I know the scope goes for over 10k, so I trade out slots to make room. I know the AK-60 rounders only go for like 4k, so I take the ammo out of it and swap it out with another one. You always want to do the math per slot and always relate to the market value. Now as a looter, this is a very annoying sight to see so much more loot that you still have to pick up. It happens, just stay calm. You have a lot of loot, think of it as a win. At this point it becomes process of elimination. Remember the 3 rules: what you need, what you want, and what you have room for. Take what you need from the bodies first and eliminate everything else based on market value. Don't be afraid to ditch your gear. As you can see, I'm dropping my MK here. Honestly, dislike the MK. It's a good gun. I respect it. But the gun weighs 10 million pounds. I definitely prefer a H4 or AR-57 over it. I also have more stuff in my inventory to suit the AR-57 or the H4 and not the MK, such as ammo, mags. You always want to take everything into consideration when you do things. So I do want to call out something I did wrong here. I had extra flashlights and lasers, and as you can see, this weapon and some of the other weapons don't have all of their slots taken for attachables such as flashlights and lasers. You can always put attachments on during the game, so if a gun has extra slots for attachments such as lasers and flashlights, you should definitely put them on there. It saves space. This is something that I messed up on here. Before the video ends, I just want to say, by no means am I saying this is how you should have looted. Everybody probably would have looted differently depending on what they needed. The main point is to follow the 3 rules: needs, wants, and then what you have space for, and base everything on market value after that. Hope you enjoy it. Peace.